The first case is going to be the pansexuality versus bisexuality. And so the internet describes one of them. Let's start with pansexuality. So the internet gives the meaning that pansexuality is the sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction to. I'm sorry, it's blocking my view. Emotional attraction to towards people of all genders, or regardless of their sex or gender identity. Pansexual people might refer to themselves as gender blind. I can't see the rest of that. I'm sorry, but
Monny.
Can you see it? I can't see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Gender blind, asserting that gender and sex. Asserting that gender and sex are not determining factors in their romantic and sexual attraction to others.
Thank you. And the other one is the bisexuality, which I know is a little bigger. It's variously defined as the romantic or sexual attraction to both males and females, to more than one gender, or attraction to both people of the same gender and different genders. All right, so okay. I was explained to it a different way. So I'm gonna give you what I was told about bisexuality versus pansexuality. And I wanted to start this off by saying I'm moderating this, and I'm also going to be giving my opinion. So in how I always used to describe bisexuality to people is it's more so a situational thing. Me and Chaz talked about this a little bit last week, as it being situational, where pan is like almost the way of life. Now, when
I object.
You object. All right, you can come to that. Let me finish.
Might I add, I'm still confused.
All right, so let me finish. So what I've always been told about bisexuality is you are bisexual up until you make the choice of who you want to be with.
I object again.
All right, we're going to get to it. I'm going to let you in. So when I say that, I was always explained to it like when you're in the search of the love of your life, basically, when you're dating and when you're doing anything, you're open to any fluidity, basically. So you can be gay and what is that? Gay and straight, basically, up until you make the choice of who you want to be with. That's what bisexuality was, how it was explained to me. So, for example, if you're dating a man on Monday and you're dating a woman on Tuesday, you decide to be with that man on Wednesday. Now you're in a relationship. Now you're gay.
But what if you fuck that woman on it? I'm sorry, have sex with that woman.
So on Monday and Tuesday, you can have sex with that woman or that man. But if you decide to be with one on Wednesday and you're in a full-fledged relationship with that person, now you're no longer bisexual. You can have anybody up until you choose.
So my next question is, who explained this to you? Someone who was straight?
Well, I'm not going to throw them out there because they didn't actually want to be on the show. So
I know, but so it was no, I said, was it someone who was straight?
No, it was a gay person.
It was okay.
So it was a person that chose. It was a person that chose to now be gay.
Okay, see, bisexuality is a lot more complicated than that. As being a bisexual woman myself, as you can see, I have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of people who know us, know I am happily married. This my man's 50 grand.
Right.
That has absolutely nothing to do with my sexuality. Because I found my person who happened to have a penis does not negate the fact that I still like vagina. Right. I still actively seek vagina.
That's how I thought about it. That's how I always thought about it. It was you making the decision that you weren't going to choose. I can do both.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I can do both. If I choose to be with a man right now, I choose to be with a man. If I choose to leave this man and be with a woman, I choose to, but that's the bi part. You choose both.
But also too, they're forgetting the main part of bisexuality is the sexuality part, the attraction part.
Right.
Just because I happen to be with a man does not make me less attracted to women. If I happen to have married a woman, it doesn't mean I ain't never gonna want no dick. It never means I'm never gonna look for a man. What it means is, for this moment, this is what I need. So when people who are not bisexual try to explain bisexuality, they try to put it in a box and there's no box for it.
Right.
Now, like I previously said, to me, pansexuality
But
ain't nothing.
I kind of disagree with that though a little bit, because you can't take away the word sexuality from it unless you're acting in it.
But that's what I'm telling you. Most bisexual people, even though they found their person, they still are active with the same sex or the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
We don't choose what we do.
But I guess that's where I think pan comes into play then, right?
But
Because
it's not. No.
another title. You can't consistently use bisexuality when you are committed.
Not necessarily. See, okay, to me, and this is my opinion, and I don't care who shoot the messenger. Pansexuality ain't nothing but a rebranding of bisexuality with
But I think
glitter
that
and
was the
glamour.
point. I think that was
That's
the
it.
point of
So
separation.
to me, pansexuality is nothing but the white man's way of making people feel comfortable with saying they like vagina and penis. That's it.
Why
Because
the white man?
because that's who created that word. We ain't created. Now, and I'm not saying that as a racial thing, but
Okay.
not for race, but that's who usually said dictates what goes out in the world, right?
Mm.
So anywho, so to the pansexuality, it just makes people comfortable to say, okay, I like this, this, and this. But with bisexuality, let's be real, there are only two sexes.
Mm-hmm.
There, you either have a penis or a vagina. So pansexuality
Like
on
you said,
it doesn't make sense because again, we don't have aliens. Now, in Torchwood, he was pansexual, which makes sense because Captain Harkness had sex with aliens and other species. So being pansexual in that sense makes sense. But for us earthlings, us humans, pansexuality doesn't exist because you're either man or woman, male or female.
So did they make it so that we
that's
can
what I
be
thought.
okay with sleeping with aliens?
Probably since they just came out with it.
When the time comes, because it's just like, okay, so I don't know. It's just like a lot of these.
Pansexuality was the distinction between the two. That's what I always came up with. That pansexuality was the distinction between the two, when bisexuality was the act leading up into the committedness. And once you're committed, after that, if you continue to engage in something separate from that, like you said, while you're married.
So is that idea where the stigma comes in with bisexuality? Because I
Kind of
remember
makes your relationship open, right?
because I remember when I didn't want to be called a bisexual because people made it seem like it was such a dirty thing. You know what I mean? It was like I
But
like
being
both,
Like you want your cake and eat
okay,
it too.
right?
but
But it was
being
just like,
pan now is a good thing.
exactly. So that's
It,
what I'm
like I
saying.
said,
Is it?
bisexuality with glitter.
That's what I said. Is it
That's what I said. It's the
because?
plus. It gives it the plus to open your relationship, basically.
But
So that's
also
what.
too, Monty, I really feel like it's like from the point of view you just expressed, to me it feels like how when a trans woman comes into the woman realm and telling them, oh, you're a cis woman, or trying to tell women how to be. That's what I feel like people from outside of the bisexuality is trying to say, oh no, you're pan now, you can't tell me what I am. I
Mm.
know what, as a woman and as a bisexual, I've been bisexual my whole entire life. There was no pan when I came out as bi. Pan is a new concept. So,
Mm.
and even to instill being bisexual, I don't like boxes and labels. I don't like,
I
this is my
agree.
husband, but we don't use that wife husband, like we don't play the roles and we don't play in boxes. I've never been in a box. So when people sit there and try to express and say, oh, you're bisexual, oh no, you still mess with women, you're pan. No, I'm poly.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
can
there's
interrupt
another.
for a second.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
First, Pan actually been around. If you watch Star Trek, Captain Kirk
It's
was
been a
Pan
while.
himself.
Mhm.
But hear me out for a second.
He
Yes, it
told
was
aliens.
movies. I know. Hear me out. This is the thought process. This is the progressiveness that we don't understand. It's hard for us to wrap our head around. The word pan now is used because of the acceptance of transsexuals.
Mhm.
So now people trying to, as people would like to say, the third gender is, even though we know technically it's only two genders, you're going to be one. But now people are more accepting of the trans community, so now people are like, well, I'm pan, because think about it, a lot of people that was gay or straight felt uncomfortable saying they was dealing with somebody who was trans. So now you throw in the pansexual part, they were like, oh, I'm open to anything. Now, if aliens come down and they start having sex with aliens, like you said, now that leave them open to. But that's what I'm saying. This is a realize people thought process
exactly
is,
like I said, bisexuality with glitters, unicorns, and it makes it look better to say I'm pan versus bisexual, because bisexuality has such a negative connotation. Like I explained to a friend of mine before, I've been called within the gay community as a bisexual woman. I've been called everything, including a petri dish of disease.
Oh gosh.
In so many words, because you greedy, you the reason why disease still spreading, because you want to have sex with this guy and this girl. You need to pick a side. And I tell her, pick your mama edges and leave me alone. I'ma do me.
But also too, I think when you start adding the word pan, I think from the definitions that was read, it's also people no longer they taking away the gender roles of when they looking for a mate. Whereas though the way they trying to define bisexual is you're attracted to a male or a female. These are slight
so
differences.
You're saying, okay, I'm either attracted to a girl that looks like a woman,
right?
Or a man that looks like a man, and there's no gray area in between.
From the definitions read, yes. So the pan takes away the whole gender role thing altogether.
Right. So the attraction is not because of what they are. As far as the sex is just you attracted to them as
attracted to the person, not because they a man that identifies as a woman, or a woman that identifies as a man, or a man that identifies as they take away that gray area.
At this point, I identify as a toaster.
Why is that?
Just keep them hot. Just keep them hot.
I mean, let's be honest. We know, 20, 30 years ago, it was, even within the alphabet community, because I don't feel like going through all the letters.
Oh, the alphabet gang.
It's confusing now to a lot of people that's in the community, because everything now is a whole different, you sis, you bear. They're like, hold up, they like, where the hell these terms come from?
Right, I just used to know gay.
Right, gay or straight. Of course we knew bi, and that pretty much it. And everybody flew within that realm. Now everything has to have a title, a label, and it's confusing everybody that's even in the community. They looking like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right, because I'd really be confused. All I knew was gay, lesbian, for a derogatory term, and piggy. That's all I knew.
And the only reason I know all this stuff is my wife is bi, so I mean,
right.
Again, I'm a straight dude, so all I do
was, because then that leads into saying too, also like y'all not a pansexual couple, either, because only one of you participates in the.
Well, I do tell people I'm a lesbian with a permanent strap-on, so I mean if that counts. Well, permanent strap-on. So if that counts, then.
And I am not pan. I'm sticking to bi, because that's what I am. I like men, I like women. And if that woman happens to even look like a dyke, she's still a woman underneath. She got boobs and a vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've never slept with a chick with a dick, but hey, who knows?
There's a possibility.
You on your own on that one.
You don't even want to watch Jamon?
No. I'm old school. Nah, please.
And that was a chick with a dick. That's a transsexual, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Well, wait. Okay, so that I have confusion with that. I have
what's that confusion?
The transsexual situation, because I always felt like trans meant transition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't transitioned,
but they have, Nikki.
halfway, not all the way.
Yes, they started the transition. Some people can't afford the bottom surgery, but they transitioned everything else. The hormone pills, they got breasts. Like if for a man going to a woman, they've gotten all of that. For women to men, they've gotten the mastectomy, they got facial hair, and there's some fine ones out here.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
If
You a woman and you too fine, they might think you. He gonna think you was friendly.
I'm talking about the female to male.
The female,
Yeah, that too.
That's what I was talking about. But I was going to say, I've even seen some beautiful male to female transitions, and I'm just like, oh wow, like, yeah. But
a lot of them didn't go, like, especially the female to male, is because, but back then, I don't know now, but back then they couldn't really produce a male. They couldn't produce a penis that would suffice.
Right.
That would go right.
So they figured they just leave it alone. Yeah. Now I don't know what the surgeries are now today, but things change now.
Because I'm sorry, if I get transitioned, you gonna give me a good nice 9er, 10 or 11er.
No.
I don't know about that.
I don't think they got that far yet.
Stretch it out, wrap it around the muscle.
It's getting eeny weeny because they kind of like pull the what's your name out, but yes, I have seen some females who have transitioned into men, and it's just like that. They just don't have that part, but everything else they look like a man.
But on 90 Day Fiance, the last season that just produced, it's a guy. I'm sorry, 90 Day Fiance the other way. He moved to Mexico or Dominica or something like that to be with this woman, and he transitioned. He was from female to male. He had the surgery and everything. He didn't get the mastectomy, but you would have never known he had boobs because his muscles were so big. But he was expressing that his thing is a nice size and he's comfortable with it. Although he had complications in the surgery when they did the grafting, outside of that, he said he's good. So I mean, guess he got a good 5-6 inches.
Technology.
He's better off.
So okay, so this conversation was started because I wish I had the video to pull it up. Wayne Brady actually came out as pansexual, even though he claims he's never practiced. I guess that's the word, or engaged in
practice
man on man sex.
It's just natural for some.
He's in Hollywood. What you expect?
But also, too, I say it again, Wayne Brady is widely accepted by the white community versus an entertainer who is black like Cat Williams or Jay-Z
or Dave Chappelle.
Or Dave Chappelle.
Right.
I wonder. Can I ask that question though? Because it must be that's a societal norm thing where we want everybody to appear like we want them to. Because that's my thought when you said this to us yesterday. That's where my thought went. I was like, I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to talk about it on the show. Why is it that we continuously do that to? It's because he came out, we don't have to do that. We don't have to say his reasoning for doing this is because his whiter acting side gives him that prominence that he can feel free enough to do this.
Okay, so again, it does go with the cultural norms, even within our black community. All right, so,
and that's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Why won't we stop that cultural norm crap? Because cultural norms go out the window every single day. They do.
But again, you still are talking about black men in itself. And it goes back to the whole aspect of slavery. During slavery, black men were had to participate in buck breaking against their will. So it is extremely frowned upon in our community because the men in themselves were raped and made shamed and
It was used as
abused.
a tactic of shame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to the whole Jim Crow laws, how effective it is still to this very day. It is psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And they use it, like you said, use it as a tactic. Think about when a black male deals with a transsexual person. The first thing when that person get mad is, I'm expose you. I'm gonna tell you, if you fully comfortable in your sexuality, how are you gonna expose somebody? And I'm talking about the person saying they're gonna expose somebody. You should be more understanding, understand that this is something that's sensitive and delicate. So when we talk about especially the black community and black men in the black community, I'm a therapist. I deal with a lot of gay men, and they struggle with being gay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got guys that do the tough guy role because they struggle with being gay.
Mm-hmm.
And they accept they being, that's the funny part, they'll accept being gay. They go to the gay club, they let everybody know they're gay, but when you sit down and talk to them, you know what I mean? Because I was raised by a manly man and I had to do this. So that's where that also comes from, is the conditioning of where we come from and what we see as what a black man's supposed to uphold. So you know, is that straddle fence, whereas though the white counterparts, society-wise, of course, even in their homes, they they get bashed by their brothers and fathers, but society-wise, it's like, oh, they're gay, and they, what I mean, it's more acceptance to them. Whereas though we had to carry that whole macho-ness,
masculinity and on their sleeves. But then it also too goes into there are so many talented gay and trans artists that I listen to on a regular. Like, what is her name? Big Frida? Love Big Frida. However, I want you to think about Frank Ocean came out with that banging album. He came out as bi. We didn't hear nothing else. What was the other one? The
Big Push.
No, the gay cowboy. He had the country song, not Little Nas X. He had that hit. He came out as gay, and look at the whole amount of controversy that he got. Now he's a devil worshiper because he is pushing the boundaries. They said, oh, he sold his soul. I don't think he sold his soul as of yet, but look at all of the amount of backlash that he got. Wrangler dropped him. They gave him this nice contract, but then when he came out as gay, they dropped him. I'm like, dude, you guys got Brokeback Mountain. Are you kidding? So it goes to what people tend to look at and see what is comfortable. Think about it. Wayne Brady already has a career that is already set up.
And that dropping part was very interesting because it didn't stop his success.
Exactly. And on top of that, he's safe. When you see Wayne Brady, you don't get threatened you don't feel threatened at all. You can leave your purse and wallet next to him. But you see Dave Chappelle or DMX or Jay-Z, and it's like,
But it's also the what they push the same. What we got to realize, Hollywood is smoke and mirrors. So when you destroy their smoke and mirror, you no longer valuable. Exactly. So say 50 Cent, he built his reputation of being a bully, being that thug, being that, even though he's a businessman, he still got that reputation of, you can't fuck with me. Just imagine that if he come out as gay, people are like, oh, now he's soft. Even though we know he still fuck up half the people he come across, but you know what I mean? That's just the image. That's what they would just. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what
Omar.
That's the
Omar.
Look at from The Wire, the dude Omar. He was gay,
right?
But ain't nobody mess with him. So we know gay guys can be thorough.
Because he was a killer. He wasn't nobody. He was a real person. He was a murderer.
So, and ain't nobody play with him. But in the industry, it's a lot different. So him coming out as pan does absolutely unequivocally nothing towards the movement. It does nothing. Because people already thought he was gay.
Exactly. I was.
It did open, but I do think it opened up this conversation.
What made him feel like he had to verbalize that, because it's an undertone that everybody already thought he was gay. Everybody assumed he was gay already. So it was like,
and that's a shame, because
I was like,
and
well,
that's a shame
what reason? I was like, well, what reason
because of
did
his mannerisms.
he
I
had
think
to
I
come
think
out?
my
Hey,
guess
it
was,
goes a lot deeper than just his
No, it
man.
goes a lot.
but
We used to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, and all of them. I used to feel it was, and it had not. Like I said, it had not. It wasn't for me. It wasn't about his mannerisms. It was about some of the stuff that I saw that he would partake in, and I'm like, ain't no straight man gonna do that.
From
Now,
but and that's funny because you got that from you said you watch Who Line Is It Anyway, which is an improv show.
here's the difference.
So they're being
Now, here's
improv.
Yes,
They're
but
improving,
okay,
improving
so
things.
he was acting. It was acting.
no. Now we've all seen Tu Wong Fu, right?
Mhm.
I know,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, other than Patrick Swayze, did you think John Leguizamo was gay? Even after that part, did you think
I
Wesley
did
Snipes
not.
was gay?
I did not. That's probably because I've seen him in other things, so I did not. No.
Right.
Nobody ever questioned neither one. I've always questioned Patrick Swayze, but outside of him,
I didn't question him either
I didn't
because
question
I
him.
think
I
it's
didn't
because I
either.
followed his career.
But again, the
I
industry,
followed his career.
the thing about the industry that he put out is the industry is like Roadhouse. He was
He was
a
very,
man's
he was,
man.
He was
Nobody,
masculine, right?
yeah,
Very
nobody paid
masculine,
attention.
right?
Nobody, even if he was, nobody
which
would
made
even
me question.
thought about it.
And he played Tu Wong Fu entirely.
They all. I thought they
They
all
all
did
did.
that movie. They all.
They
He
all
did a
did. They
phenomenal
all
job.
did a very good job in that movie. But yeah, but it's just like it's still certain things that you just have to. Wait, did you not see me? Do, um, it's just certain things like because we didn't think that about any of them after the movie, but when Wayne Brady steps off of that whose line is it anyway stage, it's like the character keeps going.
Now, to answer your question, Money, I think some of the Hollywood elite is getting exposed. So I think he wanted to jump ahead of it before, something came out. And I think a lot of people got scared after. I hate to say this, after the Jamie Foxx thing. And it was a lot of backlash between things that happened in their little circle,
Right.
that that could have caused what happened. And I think Wayne Brady now is like, I'm gonna jump out of here before
Anything get
anything
exposed.
gets exposed. At least I can control my own narrative.
Which is smart. Which is very smart.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because he's a moneymaker for CBS right now with his I can't remember what the show was called. His daytime show.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Let's make a deal.
Yeah,
Let's make a deal. Right.
Right.
They say they're always talking about that's giving us Price is Right a run for its money. Because it's more money. It's more money.
Honestly, it is. I love Drew Carey too, but I if I watch daytime, I usually change it after.
Let's make a
Let's
deal. I mean, because that's the one that's
Price is
money.
Right-
That's actual
the Price is
all
Right
money
is
versus
not on
objects.
anymore.
I mean, because I'm wondering if this is getting ready to start being is more people going to come out and tell their truth? Because like I was telling, we were talking about yesterday, I was saying like it's that cultural thing that poses a problem when people are always trying to act like they can't tell if another person is attractive or not.
But
And that's a whole stigma thing in the black community where another black man can't say this other black man is handsome or cute.
The no homo fate, the no homo,
and then say no homo. Like
say no
Okay.
homo.
Do that.
Like you don't have to say that.
As a straight man.
As a straight man, that's why I'm glad you're here.
I tell people, I like, I'm straight. Like,
the Brahma Bulls.
That dude is attractive. Like, he could be an attractive guy. I don't know if females judge y'all.
Right.
Like, he could be. No, I'm never gonna say he's cute. That's just look. That's
or sexy. Right.
But no, I said cute for a reason. I put cute in there for a reason for the person that's identifying as pansexual.
But also too, that's people that's not
and bisexual.
Both. That's a lot of people that's not comfortable with their sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have a lot of gay friends. I hang with people that I don't care. I'm comfortable who I am. It's not going out in the streets to say I've done anything. Why?
Right.
I don't. You know what I mean? But I'm comfortable being around people uncomfortable who I am. I know what type of man I am. You know what I mean? Most people tell you I'm a man's man. I but I respect people for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? I can sit there and say, oh, yeah, that dude, I can see how he was thinking about it.
Because I remember growing up, you know, if somebody was like, all right, if I was in a room and I said, oh, that person's cute, they would be like, well, I'm not going to judge how another man looks. Like, that's bullshit. You got eyes. You know if somebody's attractive. You know if somebody, because you don't have a problem with saying a person is ugly.
Pretty much. So you know what somebody.
So you know what attractiveness looks like.
Right.
Now your masculine trait is what's telling you not to say that they're attractive.
But masculine would do this. Look at that pretty nigga right there. You know what I mean? They'll say it. They just say it in a different term. You know what I mean? Think about it. Most straight guys when they say Prince, they're like, "Oh, he's a pretty dude." You already know what he is alluding to. Right. He's a pretty boy. He get all the girls. He pretty. You already know what he alluding to. They already said he's attractive dude. They just won't say the words.
Mm-hmm.
But
because attractive implies that they are attracted to it.
To them. Right.
But maybe if some honesty would come out, y'all would start telling y'all friends, y'all not attractive. Stop trying to go after that girl.
Okay. You're like, dude. But they'll say, nigga, you ugly.
But opposites do attract. And sometimes, you know, I mean, initially, a lot of times, I guess it's from the looks or the appearance and stuff like that.
Right, but it can also keep a lot of people out of a lot of trouble because sometimes it starts to look crazy when you keep trying to go after this person and you know that man, your friend, pumped you up to do that, and he thinks you're ugly.
But also, too, what I am seeing with the newer generation is able to say within their groups. Now, they're not going to go outside their groups.
I've noticed that, too. I have noticed
they're not going to go outside their groups like, yo.
They're easier to give you compliments. They're easier to tell you exactly how they feel and how you look. They're actually able to do that, where we were kind of pigeonholed with that. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it.
But again, it still goes back to cultural. It still goes back to cultural, because when they put on clothes, nigga, where you going?
Mm-hmm.
Who you getting fly for? You know, us black people, we don't say you look good. Like, nigga, where you going?
Right.
So the cultural still comes out, and we understand when we look good and when we don't. Like my son, for instance, recently turned 18. Him and his friends, they be like, yo, oh, so you the pretty dude. Oh, you a pretty boy, huh? Let me see your nails. You getting your nails done?
Yeah.
You pretty. You can't hang out with us. We thugs. And they be like, what, you ugly because you a thug? He's like, nah, I'm a thug. I get biddies another way. I'm a pretty thug.
You attract them from your roughness.
Exactly. So they say it, but they say it in a different way at this point. So it's actually coming out. I think our generation is making it okay and comfortable with the relaxedness of sexuality and all of that. It's making it easier for the generations to the next generation, Gen Z, Gen whatever the hell they are.
That's what I can't wait for. I guess I'm waiting for it. Ooh.
Generation AI.
I don't want to think 20 years ahead, but I want to see what the societal norms look like 20 years from now, because it's changed.
Before we get too far off, because I had something to say, but Keita was talking, so I didn't want to overtalk her. I wanted to say, like, with the whole everybody feeling the need to like start coming out now. To me, it's confusing now. It's like now it's so many like institutions in different ways and people fighting that you don't have to reveal who you are. You know what I mean? It's like so many ways that people are working towards you don't have to classify yourself to anybody. It's like why now do you feel after you've been closeted for 40 years that now I have to tell everybody that this is who I am, when it's making it norm for people to just look, mind your business, whoever that is. Even if you talk about it, in some situations, even if you ask people, you getting in trouble for it, or you know, you could be fined, and these certain things happening. It's like now, why now is everybody feeling that pressure to now like expose themselves?
And I don't think
it's straight spanky.
Oh, Listen, I don't think it's so much as people want to come out now. I think they feel a lot more comfortable with coming out. And yes, at work, nobody should be asking you your age or your sexuality because that has nothing to do with me being
Anywhere,
doing.
I feel like anywhere.
But
Anywhere.
again,
If we're not making plans to sleep together, why is it important for you to know who I'm sleeping with?
but I
I just
mean,
feel like that's the way it should be anyway.
now
Unless when you like us, we're friends where we have those types of conversations. But I don't feel like anybody should ever, in any situation, feel pressured to have to reveal who they are to other people. I mean,
and I
sexually.
agree with you.
I
I
mean,
totally
sexually,
agree.
because it's like me being in a room with you at a party with you does not mean that I have to tell you that I'm gay because we just at a party. We not planning on leaving tonight. Now
But
if
it
that's the
but it
situation,
may happen.
that's a different. But like I
It may
said, if
happen.
that's the situation, then you have those discussions. But I don't feel like anybody should ever walk into anywhere and have to feel pressured that let me let them know who I am
But
because
Nikki, I mean, let's be real. In everyday society, have you ever been in a situation where you felt the need to expose yourself?
no, I
You felt-
haven't.
Exactly. So
Damn
how
sure.
often does that truly happen?
I haven't, but I've seen situations where you see somebody that come in and somebody they dressed a certain way, and then everybody looking at them, and you like, it's some that may make people feel pressured, like, like, okay, is he or isn't he, or even
Then
people
guess what?
walking
Then
up
they
and
shouldn't dress that
asking.
way. This is how I feel. That from a therapeutic standpoint, if that person feels pressured because people are looking at them,
That's
they
a
may
them,
be in that's a him problem or a
right,
them problem. That's not
right,
everybody else's problem because you feel pressured. You have to accept how you feel because those are your feelings. If
Mhm.
right.
if a man walks in like what is his name? He always wearing like ball gowns and he's a black guy, salt and pepper. He was on a show recently. Uh
Pose.
I know who you're
What's
talking about.
he
Pose?
was on Pose.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Now, him,
yeah.
like if a man walks in and he's dressed like that,
Are you
of
talking about
course people
I keep forgetting his
Billy
name, but
Porter?
I know exactly. Yeah,
yes,
Billy.
Yes.
yes. He
Yeah,
walks in,
Porter,
of
Billy
course
Porter.
people gonna look and say, damn, is he gay? He is fly as hell. But again, if that's what your appearance is giving.
But and also from the psychological point of view, some people feel like it's freeing now because they've been closeted
Yeah, for
for
so
them, not
long.
because it's for themselves for so long.
Right,
They're like,
right.
hey, this is who I am, and what I mean, they because it's more accepted now, so they figure
Yeah,
I can say it and be more free. And so it's not also the pressure part; it's just them just being comfortable of exposing themselves. Because
yeah.
let's be honest, straight people say, "Hey, I'm straight." It just
Right. That's why I
is what
was
it
saying,
is.
like, I don't think anybody should have to classify unless you planning on
Look
getting
it up
in the
about it.
bedroom. Like, that's
Let me
where
ask this question: which culture has the worst problem of that?
what.
Of trying to make their cultural norm spread like that? Because that identity thing that you have to express your identity all the time
White
to
people,
be to almost to be accepted.
white people.
And that's not in statistically and research wise that is accepted because that is true because when you look at Asian people, they keep their stuff to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Indian people, they keep themselves to themselves. Africans, they keep that within themselves. So white people are the majority of them are be like, hey, this is who I am.
Or if you want to, if you don't add a race to it, Americans.
Well, I actually was thinking about in the reverse of people trying to not have to expose themselves. Which culture actually has that problem?
Every
not,
every every culture we named except Americans.
Mm.
yep.
The American culture in itself, we feel like we are better than every other country and every other nationality. We go and we put pressure on everything. Like even in Africa, I was watching this TikTok, or was it Facebook? Anyway, it was a video of this African man asking, "Why do we feel the need to put sexuality in everything? What is? Don't bring that over here in Africa. We are good where we are. We're not asking questions about people's sexuality or who they're loving. That's their business. We don't
Right.
want to expose that. We keep that. That is private. That is their business. Don't come over here with that. We don't care.
Right.
So if you really want to look at it, it's more of an American culture. But when we look at it from a race standpoint, it would be more Caucasian or white people than it would be any other race.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
See, I just expanded the conversation a little bit because we just went off the realm of
all off of the topic. But what you know, something that I noticed, it's still on that topic. But what me speaking as a straight woman and having a lot of connections with gay men and coming from different cultures, like what I noticed in the Black gay community, far as men, like a lot of my gay guy friends, they are attracted to manly men. Like they don't want a man that acts, you know what I'm saying, girly. They want a man. You know what I mean? And my white gay guy friends, you'll see two of them that where in the Black community they'll be like girlfriends, but then they'll be a couple. You get what I'm saying? Like it'll be two feminine acting men that are together, but with my Black friends, they don't want that. We'll cut up, they'll cut up with them and everything else like that, but that's not what they want. That's why a lot of times in that culture, people say that the Black men are attracted to the so-called trade or the guys who may be in that lifestyle, but who are not comfortable with, fully coming out. So that's why
So that goes to, it's gay. Like they're already gay and it's two men, but no, we're sisters. So like we're lesbian.
Yes.
Gay. Yeah. But it's also like that with the doms too. Two doms, it's very, very rare that you see two doms together be like, yo, bro, come on, back up.
But that's
like,
all,
that's
all
so
with the ladies. And it's frowned upon. It's like it's heterosexual, even in the community. That's what
that's what I'm saying.
So it creates so much. It's so much discrimination within the community because that's and I think all of these labels further that discrimination because it's just more like, okay, are we just not people that have an affection for other people? Do I have to say, oh, okay, I'm the one, but I'm this way, and so I like the person that's like me, but is like that also, and it's like you just have to keep. It's just a label after label. And
but Nikki, it goes right back to the whole bisexual and pansexuality. Even in the and even with us being in the alphabet gang, we still have these labels and restrictions. So if I'm masculine, Nikki, and you're masculine, and we decide to be together, we're still lesbian.
Look at us, right?
Wait a minute. But we're lesbians. You're a woman, I'm a woman. But no, what they're gonna look at and say, oh, but if we say, nah, bro, we're pan. Right. I'm like, the fuck? What the hell is a pan? Nah,
Panelized bull dykes.
Right.
Panelized bull dykes.
Exactly. There you go. So
y'all both got Frank and Bean.
So it moves from us being lesbians to us being pansexual based off of the way we look versus the fact that you're still a woman.
Because I wanted to interject here because I brought that cultural question up because of, like I said, now we're expanding this issue beyond bisexuality to pansexuality to of more of a LGBTQ plus cultural situation, because I brought that up because of the just a couple of weeks ago. I don't even know if it's over because now I'm seeing everybody being brought on everywhere. T.S. Madison, I can't forget Giselle. They're all being brought on different shows to talk about this situation where what Jess Hilarious said about that one transsexual that said something very stupid about women and not owning womanhood thing. And I hadn't had a chance to weigh in on that because my show's back now. Hi. But I wanted to expand this because that identity thing is one of the main focuses now in our community, in the community period, because now it's, I don't know if it's a trend anymore now, because back when this was hot in the press and they was getting in, going over what Jess Hilarious said and how she was now denigrating the trans community with her response, and then tried to rebut that by saying, well, they used to think I was a trans. Is that okay? What you used to think you were and what you are identified as is the whole total different thing, right? But it was seeming though that you could see in the Black community how you want to be accepting of everything, but when it came to a particular topic inside of that gay conversation, it was like you were coming down on women. And that can be further. That can't be further. Like, I don't have a relationship with my mother, but I don't hate her. She still gave birth to me. I'm here. I can't blame her for me being here. But we don't have a relationship right now. But that doesn't discredit that I don't thank her for bringing me here, because I enjoyed my life.
Exactly,
and no one
but
can take that away from me.
but when it goes to, I'm sorry, I said I'm a woman. I'm part of the alphabet gang. All that.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by what Jess says. And first off, I think people read entirely too much into it. She's a comedian. That's what she does.
My problem was she didn't identify the specific person that she was talking to. She kind of blanketed the trans community with what she said. And that's why they came at her so strong.
But that she probably was advised by a publicist as well.
Also, you also got, it wasn't just that one incident. It was a couple people within that time frame in the trans community was saying blanketed stuff about females, only female shit and stuff like that. So I think that's what prompted her to respond. It wasn't just that one person. It was several, because I was watching them online, like, damn, they just coming at females. So I think it was just that one thing that made her come out and say that. Now, again, I'm not female, but I'm a female lover. But,
right.
And I'll stand up for the females of this. I don't care who you are and what you accomplish in your life, what you want to be. Cool. If you want to be a fire truck, be a fire truck. I don't give a damn. But don't degrade somebody else.
Yeah.
Big yourself up. But
am I transitioning into one with my red hair?
the big yourself up, that don't make sense, especially when, let's be honest, we can change definitions all we want. Cool, fine. We can color code. I tell people all the time, this is the best way I explain it. I got a Dodge Charger outside. If I put monster trucks on it and the grill on it, it's still a fucking Dodge Charger. Now, if I want to say that's a truck, I can say it's a truck all I want. But at the end of the day, when I take it to a mechanic, it's a Charger, right? Mm-hmm. You can be who you want to be. I don't care. Nobody should care about who you want to be. But don't try to make people believe something that they physically can see. Because anybody dies. And I use this example. I don't care if you got surgery done, whatever. Somebody died.
Problem, but I think that's where the problem comes in. Some of them that you can, it's some trans that you can't peep their game.
But when they die,
and they dig up your bones,
they're
going to tell you
that you was a man,
right?
Who transitioned. Now, but here's where my biggest issue in this whole situation comes. Excuse me, as it pertains to this whole trans community, I accept people for who they are. I don't judge. I didn't ask God for a job and he didn't give me one. So I'm not here to judge you. I do have a problem, however, when you enter into my realm and try to tell me how to be a woman.
And that right there is what I'm talking about. It wasn't that my identifying what I saw in that is the blanket. It was the blanket acknowledgement that everybody considered all trans women to feel this way.
No, and I know a lot of them don't, because T.S. Madison is an ally to women. I understand as a trans person, you are trying to emulate what I am.
Why, and you know what? And that's why I was glad she was doing the defending and not the not in an abrasive way. She was defending her transsexuality with it being a teachable lesson.
Yes.
And I respected that, because if everybody just opened their ears up, but because it turned into a lot of bashing is what I was getting at. And the trans community had enough of that already going on.
I am not for bullying in any way. That's
the word. That's the word right there, bullying. That's what
discussion.
It was.
But when it comes to bullying and bashing, I have a problem. You can, if I can respect your opinion, respect mine. And even to the point,
my whole entire point was, it's nothing that community can take away from womanhood. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. because we were just talking about it was just a whole bunch of semantics running around. And Chaz know I had emotions and feelings about this throughout when we were talking about it on her show, when we was
Yeah.
in person. It was like, what the hell are we talking about here? We all know there's only two genders. What the fuck is the problem? It doesn't make sense to argue about it. It had made no sense to me whatsoever why you are arguing about a trans woman versus a woman. Only one of you can create us. Only one.
And even
And if
if,
you
my
get
God,
destroyed, that's it.
now, this is how I feel. If a trans woman needs a uterus, they can have mine.
Ah,
And once they get, and when
listen.
they're able to do that transplant, then we can talk about this all over again. But in this instance of today, it's no possibility
No
of you women disappearing. It's no possibility. You're not
None.
going anywhere. They have not made the technology is not sound for the automatic womb. None of that is ready yet. When that is possible, then we can come back to this conversation. But this was a distraction. It was a distraction from what we need to be focusing on. And the agenda is black people, not transsexual black people, not black women. It's not separate. The issues have to be the same, or we're going to fail. We're going to constantly fail.
But that goes back to the old Jim Crow thing with separate and divide.
Mm-hmm.
Divide and conquer. Because
we all know where this came from. This conversation came from, the transsexual conversation came from the white Republicans. That's where it started from. They don't want you to be in our schools. They don't want this. They don't want you teaching your kids and all that kind of stuff. And then how did that end up being a black issue? How did that become a black issue? Because that's what they wanted. They're targeting us to stop the vote. If we all fighting everybody's not paying attention to what's happening in the government. If that's what you want to do, then that's how you're gonna fail, and that's how you're never gonna progress, and you're gonna still be in the same situation you are in now.
I totally agree with you, hands down. Because again, like I think people are just too blind, and you know what? I'm gonna say this: people are not people; they're sheeple. They're sheep.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wherever the carrot goes is wherever they're gonna follow, instead of doing something different. Oh, whatever is right in front of you, instead of, because we have now moved to the age of immediate gratification. So whatever we see right then and there, instead of doing research, when was the last time any kid actually did some real research, picked up a real book, went to a library?
This goes to the conversation I was having with my kids, is that we are now programmed to glorify unintelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
Kids no longer like, hey, I made it to college, I made it to school. You're like, damn, you doing that? Why you doing that? You're looking at the person. Think about, and I had to explain this to my kids. I said, why you think y'all call each other dummies? It take away this thing of you to feel like you're not smart. So you're like, hey, what's up, dummy? You're not. It don't make a difference no more. Mm-hmm. Whereas though when we was growing up, I know when I was growing up, somebody called you dumb, you ready to fight. Hey, dumb, what you talking about? You know what I mean? I don't care if you wasn't even the smartest kid, you still wasn't accepting the fact that you was dumb.
Right.
So it goes back to now, society now is programmed to not think, because too many thinkers was coming up and disrupting the program. It's kind of what you were saying, Money, smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? It's an issue, but now you're going to throw all these different things out so you won't even pay attention to the real issue. But it's like, let's be honest, at the end of the day, the average thinking person has some type of intelligence don't care what nobody do in their bedroom.
Right.
Because as a straight person, I might do some crazy stuff that you would never do in your bedroom.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So who cares what you do
from
in
the
your
ceiling
bedroom?
fan, stuff like that.
That's neither here or there.
I like it when it turns on and you spin. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And I think that's where we're failing, and other nations see it too, because kind of what Keita was saying about the African nation, like we don't care what y'all doing. Is that whole smoke and mirror. I was watching something where they're teaching their kids survival skills in class, and we teaching our kids the difference between pansexual and bisexual. How does it help you in real life?
It doesn't. It doesn't help. That's that just makes you think of now that opens your mind up to think, what are those people thinking that actually have so much to say about transsexuality? Like, what are they thinking in their head is the real issue there? How they have sex?
No, they know it's
Because you're thinking
controversial.
of, you also are thinking about that. Like, how are they having sex? What are they doing in their bedroom? Stay out of my bedroom. You won't have to find out. But you're intrigued about what's going on in that bedroom.
Mm-hmm. But look,
Most of them are wondering if I can join what's going on in that bedroom.
They got a lot of websites for that these days and age.
And also that's where it stems from, because they probably Googled it and saw the imagery they were attracted to, but then hated themselves because they were attracted to it.
But
Instead of being vocal about it.
This is also the country that had put in laws for people not to have sex with animals.
Right.
I mean,
And they still ain't
laws.
stop.
You can't have sex with a donkey. You can't have sex with like who? Why did you have to put this into a law? Yeah, we talking about yes. You Google it.
Oh, I know that.
Bestiality.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
is there a different classification for that?
I mean, they
So,
also
like,
got
is
laws
it-
that
is
you
it
can't sleep
only-
with your cousins and brothers
It
and
is. It's
sisters.
bestiality.
It is I know it's called bestiality, but I'm talking
I don't
about,
have a
is there a
definition.
difference?
Another name?
Oh, no, hold on. Is there a difference if you sleep with land animals or sea animals?
The sad part, it might be.
Wasn't there something that came out recently where somebody had put their penis in like a whale hole or a dolphin hole that I saw?
Look, there's so much weird stuff that goes on.
Probably.
And it died. And I think it was a dolphin and it died.
Oh no.
That's their nose. That's where they breathe from.
No, but it was just, it really wasn't. It was, I don't know what Monty, I didn't hear about what Monty talking about, but I know that there really was just a
I didn't
case
make that up. I
where
heard
there were two brother beluga whales, and they were the one raped the other. They were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah. And one
the
died.
wildlife facility knew they were in a relationship, but then the one raped the other one so much he killed him.
It died. Yeah, I saw that one.
But they knew that they were having sex. They knew the other brother was having sex with one, and then they never separated.
Mm-hmm. Because they thought they were in
And
love.
then he did it to him until he died. He killed him. Like,
White people.
Yep, I saw that one. Mm-hmm.
To death? To
Yes.
death.
Damn.
to death.
He came and went at the same time.
I can't. Okay, so all right. See, we could have kept going with this on the whole show, but I think we should move. Let's try to transition over
Yes, it's so much.
to the.